Hello there, BoBo the Bitcoiner is back. Why is it important to first understand Bitcoin before you invest? I missed like last weekend YouTube. This week I'm continuing. So every time anyone asks me for tips on Bitcoin investment, my first advice to him or her who intend to invest in Bitcoin is understand Bitcoin first. Spend at least 100 hours reading everything from the Bitcoin White Paper to the many written articles and YouTube by recognized and reputable Bitcoin expert who will explain in detail what is Bitcoin Network and how it works. Some may be too technical, but select those that explain in a layman way. Also important to understand what crypto exchange is, which are the reputable exchange, and it's also important to understand what is Bitcoin Wallet. The reason is very simple. If you don't understand Bitcoin enough, you are not investing. You are gambling blindly. That is where the danger lies. Bitcoin is a volatile asset. In the past, it can go down as much 80%, commonly in the range of 50%. Many look to buy low and sell high, but it is impossible to time Bitcoin. So, if you don't understand Bitcoin enough, when the price go down 80% or 50% or even 30%, chances are you will panic. And especially if you don't follow what is happening in the Bitcoin market, chances are you will sell your Bitcoin foolishly, resulting in losses. I once had a follower in my Telegram BoBo Bitcoin enthusiast a few years back when Bitcoin was down 30%, and he declared he gave up and sold all his Bitcoin away at a loss. A typical example of what I'm saying above. But if you understand Bitcoin enough and have gone down the rabbit hole, you will examine yourself. Why Bitcoin is down? Is it because of the fear, uncertainty, and doubt? But as FUD and all the negative noises happening at that time. Important question is, you have to ask yourself, has Bitcoin fundamental been disturbed or disrupted? Bitcoin is still transacting fast and cheap as usual, right? Every single transaction being processed every second without fail. Bitcoin is still transparent in the blockchain for all to see. As far back as the first transaction of Bitcoin in 2008, every ledger is still intact. So most important of all, has Bitcoin software been changed or disturbed by anyone? Since Bitcoin Network is an open source computer program, everyone can actually see and copy the program. In fact, anyone can make changes to the software by say increasing the limit to 42 million Bitcoin instead of 21 million. But nobody until today has managed to do that. Why? Once you understand Bitcoin network, you will know that it is practically impossible to make changes because Bitcoin is decentralized. Bitcoin nodes or computer nodes are scattered all over the world. There are more than 20,000 nodes at the moment, something like 20,000 servers all over the globe. To make changes, you need the consensus agreement of at least 51% of the nodes. Would it pass the 51% consensus agreement? Not possible, right? So all the above means Bitcoin fundamental is intact. Nothing has changed. That gives you the knowledge and confidence that Bitcoin network is still working fine, consistently, without any hiccup. So if Bitcoin price is down, it is only noise in the market. There's nothing to do with Bitcoin fundamental. Then you know it's a question of time. Once the noise dies down, Bitcoin price will rebound, as it has been doing all these years. You know, recently I met someone looking to invest into Bitcoin. Let's name him or her as Valentine. An anonymous name. The world has heard enough of Bitcoin since it reaches $100,000. This potential investor has an interest or very interesting perspective of Bitcoin, because Bitcoin has been elevated to such noble and dignified status. Valentine's first impression is Bitcoin will never go back to zero. And Valentine explains that it is not necessary to understand Bitcoin in detail. The fact that it will never be more than 21 million Bitcoin, Valentine cleverly justify that supply and demand is enough to drive up the price Bitcoin into the future. Very wise generalization, well reasoned. What surprised me most is Valentine even has the dignified understanding that Bitcoin is a long-term investment. Valentine explained, best is buy Bitcoin and then go to sleep and wait 10 years. Then check the Bitcoin price. Bitcoin could run into the millions. I'm quite amazed with Valentine's high level of thoughts, which many lack. If you have Valentine's level of conviction, yes, you probably do not necessarily go down the rabbit hole. Valentine's impressed me with his this incredible wisdom in Bitcoin investment. If you have the level of thoughts and commitment as Valentine's, I suppose this generalization work. But of course, if you have the intention to invest strongly or heavily for the future of yourself and your family, then I would advocate that you understand Bitcoin more thoroughly instead of generalization. you should learn to understand Bitcoin more deeply. I mean, it's a different being a casual investor and being a committed wisdom investor. Valentine really threw me some food for thought on the perspective of Bitcoin or new Bitcoin investor. If you have Valentine's intelligence and acumen, I support this generalization. Okay, new perspective of investment now. Yeah? Thank you so much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.